Hello and good evening. My name is Dan, and I apologize for not being able to be with you this evening. When I was told about the Partners in Collaboration Award, I was very honored, and I am thrilled to have a couple minutes to speak to you this evening. What can you do to help your best friend when you realize that there is really nothing that you can do? I cannot even remember now how many years ago I first met Norm at a fraternity convention. That brief weekend created a friendship that under normal circumstances may never have happened. You see, Norm was older than me, he lived in a different state, we didn't even go to the same schools together. But our friendship grew, and we would get together as often as we could at fraternity gatherings across New York State. Eventually these get-togethers grew to be family camping trips and family get-togethers at each other's houses. About 7 years ago, Norm called me on the phone, as he often did. I swear if he could have that cell phone implanted into his head, he would have. But I knew with this call it was a little different. And that was when he told me that he had been diagnosed with ALS. He went on to tell me what ALS was and what it did, and what it eventually would mean for him. Up until that point I had heard of ALS, but it had never before touched my life. Eventually Norm had let everybody know, all of his friends, that he had been diagnosed. He had touched so many lives and was so well liked that it was unbelievable. As the news spread, some of our fraternity brothers and sorority sisters started asking themselves what we could do to help him, and that was when we created the Norm M. Phillips Charity for ALS. Norm really grew to appreciate the Robert Packard Center and the fine work that they did, so he asked us that this charity help support that work. The Norm M. Phillips Charity's main fundraiser each year is a golf tournament. This golf tournament is attended by family and friends and fraternity brothers and sorority sisters. A lot of them very much like ourselves, like Norm and myself. These attendees come from different states, different cities across the country. They went to different schools, different ages, some of them young enough to be Norm's children. Many of them have never even met Norm. But despite this, the attendees of our tournament certainly do look forward to getting together each year. A lot of them have never played golf more than 6 times in their life. A lot of them never played before 6 years ago. Each year the tournament has gotten a little bit bigger and a little bit better. I took over the organization about 3 years ago. At that point I added an electronics raffle to the mix, because if it had an on-off switch or batteries or plugged into a wall outlet, Norm was all over it. He just loved technology. Our first raffle was a Wii Nintendo game system, and we called it the We Love Norm raffle, and as you can figure, it was a huge success. When I was notified about being a recipient of a Robert Packard Center's Partners in Collaboration Award, I was honored and humbled. Obviously this is not why I'm in this, but it does mean a lot to me that the Packard Center appreciates the work that my friends and I do. In fact, I'm just the point man. The true partners in this are my wife Kim, who makes sure that the actual events run without a hitch, and of course the hundreds of brothers of Theta Gamma and sisters of Pi Nu Epsilon, their friends, Norm's family, all the attendees of the tournament that have faithfully supported us throughout the years. Without them, none of this would be possible, and for each of them I am truly blessed. Thank you to them and to the Robert Packard Center. Good night.